Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about the problem and the solution called debouncing. Let me show you with an example. First, the problem. Here we have a table of Pokemons and a search field on the top. As the user types the name of a Pokemon, the list should be published so it shows that Pokemon. And as you can see, it shows the Pokemon that includes the letters that the user typed. But there is a problem. As you may have guessed, this field is connected to a listener, an input listener. If you pay attention to this console.log, here I can show you something. As the user tries to type something, per each letter, the console is running here. So basically, per each key stroke, our even listener are running, and that can cause a big problem. Imagine here, we don't have a very expensive method here, but imagine you are fetching something here from an external API, and by every stroke of the key, as the letter is typed, we don't want this fetch call to be called here. So here we have a solution which is called debouncing. So what is the idea behind debouncing? It means that we wait for a specific amount of time and give time to the user to type whatever they want. And if there is a gap between the last character they typed, for example, we can define it here, I'm gonna use 1 second. If they didn't type for 1 second, then we take action and even listener gonna run those lines of code. And if even before 1 second, again the user starts typing, the timer should be reset and again waits for another second until the user haven't typed anything, then start the codes. So now let's see how the debouncing function is implemented. Let's go to the code. So as said, we need a debounce function debounce, and it's gonna get a callback and a delay, which I defaulted to 1000 milliseconds. So it means the debounce function gonna call this callback function after the delay, whatever the delay is. Here is 1 second. So now let's see how do we call debounce function. We create another function called, for example, call debounce. We set it to debounce and we pass in the call function here. Here I say text because I'm gonna log out whatever was typed by the user, and here console.log text. Of course, we don't need these curly brackets here. Sorry about this. Yep. And we need another. Yes. Very good. All set. Now here inside the event listener, we call the call debounce, passing the either target.value to that. Now everything is set up. We just need, I comment out these, we just need to implement a logic here. Somehow we can manage everything. And let's see how can it be done. Okay, inside the debounce, we're gonna return a function which gets any number of arguments. It doesn't matter how many arguments. We just want to be generic here. So what does it do? It sets a timeout for us, gets the arg and the delay for sure. Sorry, not here, the args. We go here inside the arrow function and We run the callback here and passing the arc. There is something missing here. Sorry, it was a typo. I moved the parentheses here. So let's test this and see what happens here. Now let's put this in action and see what happens in the browser. Okay, if I go here and I start typing, you can see after 1 second everything is printed out here. But if you can see, for every letter I type in, the event listener is running. This is not how debouncing works, so we need to do some changes in our debouncing logic. We need to reset the timer if the user is typing with intervals of less than 1000 milliseconds. So I define here a timeout. I set it to null, and inside a function I get the result of this timeout. So timeout ID is set to timeout, and I want to reset, clear this timeout. So every time this function is called, less than 1000 milliseconds, the timeout is reset and another timeout is set again. But if it's more than 1 second, the callback function will be running. We can put it into test again here, console, and if I start typing with intervals of less than 1 second, as you can see, nothing is printed here. As soon as I gave it 1 second, it printed out everything here. Everything is set up and ready for debouncing. I just want to copy and paste my original code into the callback function. So we want this code to be running, nothing else. Sorry. And here, this one should be deleted. Yes, everything okay, but the only problem is that this search term should go here. Sorry for a bit of delay here for the coding, and we want to pass this. So now everything is organized. Let's go and check what's happening in the code actually. If I try to type, for example, nothing is changing. I think there is a problem in the code. Text, oh sorry, this should be changed to text. Now I think everything must be working now. As you can see, I typed in, it didn't change anything for 1 second. Then it ran the search term and looked for the Pokemon with a related name. Yeah, that's how debouncing works and implemented. Thank you so much and happy coding.